What you saying, ladies and gents? It is your boy BucketHatSam, and it is the first episode of the January transfer season, and I'm buzzing for it. And today it is all about Everton, and we've got the main man on, KieranRants. Welcome to the channel. That's your debut, mate. How are you feeling?
I'm loving it, man. Thanks for having me on. And you know what? You probably picked the best team for January. Us and Man United, we've been right up there with all the rumours and everything. So, yeah, it's been quite chaotic, hasn't it?
I was going to say, yeah, I had to get Everton in straight away because there is so much to discuss. And that's why I've got you on, because there was no better man to do it. But we're going to start off straight away, talk about the confirmed signings already. It's mental how you've got your business done quite fast. So I want to talk about Michaelenko and Patterson. Go, tell me about them. What are your thoughts on both of them? Two fullbacks, obviously. I just want to hear your thoughts.
All right, so Michaelenko or I don't know how you say it, to be fair. Michaelenko, I think it is. He's been at Dynamo Kiev and the Ukrainian sort of set up international for about 5 years. He's been at Dynamo Kiev for 5 years. He's been in the international team for Ukraine for about 5 years. And he's consistently been starting. He's been starting around 20, 30 games each season. I can't really tell much about what I've actually seen from him because I haven't seen him play yet. I've only seen him play at the Hull game. In the Hull game, he didn't really impress us too much. You know, he didn't go and get 2 assists and a goal, whatever. But he gave him a solid performance, to be fair to him. And he looked... What you got to remember about Milenko is that he can't speak English yet, and he's coming into a back line of an Everton team that is already in an absolute shambles, to be fair. So he's going to find it hard to adapt into the Premier League, but I think he can. I think he's got the ability to. And I think it's a very good move. Obviously, £20 million for him. Obviously, you know, we are selling Luca Digne because he's coming in, which, you know, does sort of spin it to why are we going to buy him when we already had Luca Digne? And, you know, I'm not going to get into that. We'll get into that when we mention Digne.
Say, but don't you worry about
that. I think as an individual signing, you take away the Luca Digne stuff, it's a very solid signing for us. And he's going to start every game for us. Let's be honest here. If he's fit, he's going to start every game for us. And yeah, I think very solid signing. And the fact that it was done on January the 1st as well is very impressive. And then we've obviously got Patterson. Now, Patterson obviously comes from Rangers. He's been there. I think I actually read something. I think I read on the Everton website that he's been at Rangers since he was 8 years old. So he's been in the academy all the way through. Like, he has been at Rangers to set up for ages, man. So he's making the move out of Scotland to England now. Can he adapt in? That's the question. You know, you've got to ask, can he adapt and come in? I think he can. He's not going to get thrown into the deep end straight away because we've already got Coleman and John Joe Kenny at right back. But, you know, I think it was around 12 to 16 million pounds. Again, a very decent deal for him. And if we go and sell Luca Digne for £30 million now, I'm not sure whether we can or not. I'm not sure whether it's going to be 20, 25 million. Yeah. But if we sell Luca Digne for £30 million, we spent 20 million on Milenko and we've spent, 12 million on Patterson. So we've virtually made our money back. And we've been crying out for a right back for, I'd say, 3 years.
I was going to say, really, Coleman coming in at the end, isn't it? Yeah.
Since Coleman peaked, we've been, you know, dying to get a right back. Sort of like when Baines had peaked and he was slowly going down. We brought in Luca Digne. We needed to get someone like a Patterson 3 years ago, but obviously we're not in that position now. We're in the position of Patterson's actually going to probably get thrown into the deep end more than Luca Digne did. So both solid signings, no complaints at them really. I don't think there's anything. It's exactly what I want from Everton. It's their perfect profile. You know, Milenko's 23, Patterson's 20. You know, these are players with high resale value as well. So, you know, high resale value. They're going to be here for the next 5 years if they want to stay. I mean, Patterson signed a deal till 2027, I think, and Milenko did till 2026, I think. So it's very long-term deal.
I was going to say, yeah.
And yeah. It's very long-term deals. They're going to be here for 5 years, probably. You know, they're going to have resale value when they do leave, and they're going to create a good atmosphere around Everton. I think, you know, they're going to be wanting to come in, fight for every ball, win every game. You know, they're going to want to prove something because even though they're that type of player where they've proven themselves enough that they've got the ability to play at Everton, but they haven't proven themselves to be a Premier League player yet. They've got to prove that they are going to be starting week in, week out in the Premier League. And if they can do that, then they'll be solid and they'll be great moves for us.
Yeah, I think it's looking quite positive. There's a bit of a buzz which you haven't kind of had all season. It's good to see actual planning because I was worried when you were being linked with players left, right, and centre, and you did need a big rebuild, and obviously the stuff going on with Luca Digne. I was thinking this needs to get done fast, and not many clubs actually ever do get it done fast. It gets dragged out throughout the transfer window. You get held for ransom for a lot of money. So it's actually good to see the planning on it. Like, there has been serious planning got involved.
Yeah.
Obviously, they identified these targets, must have been earlier on in the season, and they've got it sorted really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm quite excited for you guys, because it's just surprising. I don't know if I'm explaining myself right here, but Everton aren't usually this fast and this just straightforward. Deal done. Next thing you know, it's announced. I was like, whoa, these kind of things got turned around very fast. And the fact that she said with Michaelenko, I don't know how you say it. I said it with confidence before. Now I've got to back it, haven't I? But yeah,
I'm really considering giving him a nickname, Sam. I think if we need to. I had your expert said maybe Vita. I was like, yeah, it sort of rings off the tone, or you can have Mika. It sort of works. I'm still trying to figure out one for him, but
I'm gonna go Mike.
Yeah, you spot on. I'll give you that's a decent one actually. I'll give you an example of our deadline day horrors that we've had. Alex Iwobi, the most famous example. £40 million on deadline day.
I was gonna say, don't worry, we'll talk about him later.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what you need to know about Everton's transfer policy recently. It has just been signed them on deadline day for an extended fee, a massive fee, whereas Milenko, first day in January, which is, spot on. So those two players, yeah, very happy for them, and hopefully they can crack on for us.
Yeah, I think it's pretty positive. Okay, then we'll swiftly move on then to this isn't going to be fun now. I can tell you're not going to get happy now. You're going to be annoyed, but we've got to discuss it. The players that need selling, ideally, if you could go through, I've written down a few. I know your list will probably be a lot longer than mine. So I'll get mine over quickly. Realistically, obviously, they're quite, actually, I say that. Do you know what? You go straight in first and get it off your chest, because I can see it already that there are quite a few players, and we could discuss why. I'll happily give you my opinions, but go for it. Who do you think then, realistically? Because there's quite a few names which are being linked around everywhere, but it's mainly, there's a lot of players that you do want to get rid of, but it's whether you can get rid of them. But we're going to discuss, in an ideal world, if you could get them off your books for the amount you want, who would you get rid of in this January to then replace?
Right, I'm not going to get rid of any of the goalkeepers this January. I think that's a summer job. The defence, I've just got the team here now, looking at it. John Joe Kenny, did this before. He's gone. Holgate, he's gone. Mina, if we get 25 million for Yerry Mina, he's not played half the games this year, and I don't think he played half the games last year either. I think Yerry Mina though is more of a summer one. So if we get a good fee for Yerry Mina and bring in a better centre back, because we absolutely need a better centre back that can hopefully pair up with Ben Godfrey. And the only problem I've got with Yerry Mina, the reason why he's not that centre back is because he's always injured. I was
going to say that is one thing. Yeah, he never seems to have a great run of games, does he? He comes in, plays well, and then he's straight back out. And that's the thing. You do want to play a consistently can perform and be there and reliable defender, which you have got in other players.
Especially at centre back as well. It's one of these positions where you want to have a consistent starter, and if he's not consistently starting, it's a bit of a murky one. Luca Digne, don't want him gone, but he's going to go. Seamus Coleman, he's not going. I don't want him to go, but I don't think he should be starting after January. I think Patterson should be starting every game. Jared Branthwaite on loan potentially. I don't think so. Looking at the midfielders, then Fabian Delph get gone. Sigurdsson, he's got 6 months left on his contract, so he's going to be going. Andre Gomez, I would say, get gone. John Philippe Gbamin, if anyone wants to take him on loan, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to keep Tom Davis. I quite like Tom Davis. And Onyango, go out on loan, mate, get some experience, because Rafa's not going to be starting you anytime soon. Forwards then, Alex Iwobi, obvious reasons. If Nigeria win the AFCON, Iwobi, you can have the rest of the season off because of how well you did at the AFCON. You can have the rest of the season off to party as much as you want, mate. Jack Tucson, obvious reasons. He's already came out and said that he wants to leave in 6 months when his contract ends. So I don't know why we're still starting him. He needs to go. I know a lot of people are going to say Rondon. I think if you're going to sell Rondon, I think I rate Rondon, to be fair. I think he could do quite well, but when I mean do quite well, I mean he could get like 5-10 goals, baby.
Yeah, he's I think a bit of a bit part player, isn't he? He's a fringe squad player, a good player to bring on with 5 minutes to go. He can do something, and he can bully defenders. We do know he has it in his locker. I'm talking from a West Brom fan here. I will defend that guy until I'm blue in the face. I will always stick by Rondon. He's one of my boys, you see. So I will back Rondon with that. But I think
the thing is with Rondon is... Go on.
No, you go first. Carry on. Think about Rondon. Go on.
I was just going to say about Rondon, the thing that's set him back the most is the fact that he's came in and he's had to be the starter straight away. That's the main issue you have with him. You know, if he came in and was a squad player, then you'd have no complaints about him. But because he's starting straight away, that's the problem. Ellis Sims and Dobbin, I think they need to go out on loan because Rafa's not going to give them any game time. If Frank Lampard came in, and I'm gonna fill this Lampard agenda now because I absolutely love that guy. Right. If Lampard came in, then I would say don't sell these youngsters, don't loan out these youngsters. But I think the only youngster that's going to get any game time under Rafa Benitez is Anthony Gordon because he's already cracking on, doing well. So any youngsters I'd be up for loaning out for 6 months, and then obviously half the team I want gone.
I was going to say that I knew the list would be long. To be fair, mate, I knew the list would be long. It's just the difficulty with these kind of players. Obviously, they're on big contracts. You spent big amounts for them. It's whether you can get rid of them. Ideally, you could. There's a couple of players like Andre Gomez. There is a player in him. We all know there is a player, but again, it's just consistency and being fit. So I look at that list. It's very similar to mine. I just had Tom Davies on there, but obviously, I know you have kind of alliance to him. You like him. A lot of Everton fans do really like him. I just don't think he's hit the heights that we all expected when he burst onto the scene. But then he could be a really good squad player and have a player you could bring on because you do need numbers and depth in that midfield. So that is one thing he does bring.
The thing is with Tom Davies is I don't think he's a defensive midfielder and he's been playing there for ages. I think Tom Davies is a attacking midfielder. I think he should be progressing up with the ball, but he's not been doing that because of obviously managers, systems, whatever. And thing is with Tom Davies, would you rather have Tom Davies, Andre Gomez, Gbamin or Delph? I think anyone there would take Tom Davies out of all of them. That's what I would pick anyway. So, I think Davies is the last one we get rid of.
Okay, when I look at it from an outside view, I think I agree with you on that. It's the determination, isn't it? He's at least one player will fight for the shirt and put his all into every game. And then with the other names, you could argue they wouldn't do that. There's one thing you're going to get with him is it's always commitment, isn't it? He does always try his best. I know players should anyway, but this is the part of the discussion. He has got one thing over them, which is that. But okay then. So I'm going to list you two then a confirmed links. We've discussed who needs gone. That was a long list. That was a long list, but we knew it with the way it's been going this season. Obviously, 15th in the league. Things do need to change. And this is one time when you can. It's kind of like a pass to just help yourselves. But the 3 confirmed links that I've been reading about recently, whether it's on Sky Sports or just kind of in the general media, are Lloyd Kelly, the Bournemouth centre-back, a player, obviously I watch a lot of the Championship, a player that I really do rate, was originally a left-back and then converted over to a centre-back. He's got a lot of pace. He's brilliant on the ball. He's captained the side. I think it's 15 times this season, part of the best defensive record in the league. I think he'd be a good player. And as you said, you need that consistent centre back, somebody you can build the foundations from. So are you interested? Have you read much about that? Or?
Hey, I didn't even know he was linked, but if he wants to come, he can come. Mate,
I saw this one on Sky Sports.
Get him in. You know what? Get him in, man. Hey, if he wants to come, get him with Godfrey Branthwaite. I think he'd do a job, to be fair to him. I don't know too much on his profile, but obviously you've sort of listed it off there. Yeah, it seems like the sort of player you want, young 20s.
Early 20s. Yeah, he's early 20s.
And again, it's... Yeah, I'd back that. If he wants to come in, how much do you reckon it'd be for, Sam?
So reportedly, the fee that they're discussing online around Sky Sports, it was said between 10 and 15 million. So it isn't it's not something you're going to have to break the bank massively, but that's when you're paying for Championship players and the English tax. I do think it is slightly overpriced. I thought more realistic, probably 7 or 8 million, but he's English from the Championship. Bournemouth are in a kind of a title race going on right now, so they're going to want to keep hold of their captain, really. And then the other 2 players, which I've been reading about, is El Ghazi from the Villa and Sean Longstaff. And obviously Longstaff, Rafa Benitez has been a long admirer of this guy. What are your thoughts on that one? Because it's very mixed when I read online the Everton fans' opinions. And I want to get it from you, hear it from the horse's mouth. What do you think about this signing? Because it's getting linked every day.
£1 million for Sean Longstaff is not bad. Or Matty, I don't know which one it is, right?
Sure.
It's not bad. But
I think
you've got Tom Davies there. You've got Tom Davies. You've got You got Tom there. You can even argue Andrew Gomez is better. What's the point? That's the question I think a lot of Everton fans are going to ask. What's the point in this signing? You may as well just give Tom Davies that chance instead of him. So I would bring him in. I'd be open to. But I want to know what the point. Does he serve a different purpose to Tom Davies? Because if he doesn't, right, go and get Tom Davies and say, Tom Davies, you play this role now. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like a pointless signing. That's pretty much it. That's why people are mixed on it, I think.
No, I kind of get that vibe. I can see why people would think that. Hopefully, then, if in an ideal world for you, that would free up kind of more of an advanced role for Tom Davies. But we don't live in a perfect world, do we? So we'll have to wait and see that one. But the El Ghazi one was a confusing one. I read that there was discussions with the Luca Digne, with like a swap deal with cash, but I can't see that working out. And an El Ghazi transfer does baffle me a bit. Why you'd be interested in a player like that, someone who isn't even starting for the Villa. So I don't know if you've read much about that. Whether you'd be pleased with that or not. A squad player, maybe.
What I'd say about the El Ghazi transfer is Aston Villa are trying to get their dead weight to us. Like they're just trying to go, you know what? If we throw in a £15 million bid plus El Ghazi for Luca Digne, that's the bargain of the year. I don't care what you got to say. That is the bargain of the year right there. El Ghazi, he doesn't start. Okay, I guess it's more, depth out wide, but we don't really. I don't know what does he offer? Like he seems like an all right player, but what does he offer right now?
Exactly. The only thing he's going to give you is he will do more on that. He's a left winger, but then you've got players like Gordon. Why would you need to halt his progression and growth as a player by signing a player who will do a job for you? He scores a lot of goals every year. Penalty merchant. He always scores against West Brom. He shoots from everywhere. That is one thing you're going to get. He's so direct. He's a very good player, but I just don't understand why you'd sign him in this position. I don't get it. It kind of seems like a backward step when you're progressing somebody like Anthony Gordon as a first team player. Why you'd sign somebody in the same position? A bit part player, but yeah, I don't know if you agree with that.
No, I think all those names there. I don't know whether they will come to Everton, to be fair. But I would like that Kelly guy. I think he'd be a good signing. But the other two, it's whatever. You know what I mean? It is what it is. At the end of the day, it's better than Ross Barkley. I'd rather those two over Ross Barkley. But it's not a high standard there, is it? And you know what I will say about the Villa one there is Villa know what they're doing there. Let's just say that they know what they're doing. They know what their new strategy is going left hand side. They've got Luca Digne on this left-hand side. He's going to be bombing it forward. Coutinho, if they start him on the wing, he's going to cut inside. He's going to be sort of the main man in the middle. Luca Digne is going to fill that void at left wing. And then you're saying to yourself, well, why do we need, a left winger like El Ghazi? What sort of role is he going to fill? Because you've got Traore on the other side as backup anyway. So I think Villa are trying to mug us off, and we are no mugs. Hopefully not anyway. So
I was going to say, fingers crossed. Yeah, they just want to free up the wage bill. Yeah, they just want to get rid of the deadwood, free up the wage bill, because they are getting players who are way better in that position. So I kind of get why they're trying to offload him. But we'll have to wait and see with that one. So then, I've got a list of names. Personally, this now obviously is a ridiculous thing to say. Imagine if you've got endless money, realistic signings. Realistic money is not an issue here. Okay. Realistic signings at Everton. I've made a list of a few players that I would be interested in. I think the one thing you definitely need is you need a number 10, somebody who's going to bring that creativity a bit more going forward. Maybe another centre mid and a centre back. That's kind of when I've looked at the names I've been looking at. And the names I've been looking at: Nathan Ake, Weston McKennie, Jesse Lingard, which is an iffy one, and Aaron Ramsey. I don't think the market is great at the moment. I never think the January transfer market. I think those are big asks as well. I'm going big here. I know I have.
I don't think any of them are good. Sorry, go on, Sam. You finish and then I'll.
I know. I was going to say I don't think they're too realistic, but I still think with your potential pulling power, I still think you could interest some of these players, because a lot of these players are not in great situations. I think Nathan Ake is a bit. Whether that could work, you would not be interested.
I would only want Weston McKennie out of all those names you said there.
Okay. Hit me with it.
Lingard wants to go to West Ham. We know that.
Yeah.
Aaron Ramsey is. I think that would be the worst deal we could ever make in January because of his wages. He's on 300 grand a week, I think.
Yeah, he's obviously not going to. He's obviously not going to get that wherever he goes, though. We all know he's a serious player, and he's open to taking a wage cut. He has openly said that.
The thing is about that wage cut, though, is that wage cut will be $100,000 a week, and he's injury prone as well. And it's just, I'd rather start Tom Davies over Ramsey. To be fair,
you're loving Tom Davies. We should have just made this video.
I don't know how we've done this now, because I've never picked up Tom Davies like I have now. But yeah, Weston McKennie would be a good signing. Let's go through that scope. Weston McKennie would be a good signing. Ake, he's not what we need. He is. We need a leader at the back line. We need someone who knows what he's doing. I don't think Ake knows what he's doing. I think Ake, for me, he's good as a second string defender. So he'd be good next to a Diaz or a Stones or someone like that, but he can't be that leader.
He was captain at Bournemouth for quite a time when he was alongside Steve Cook. At that time, he was captain, and I think it was Francis as well, maybe Steve Francis, or he might have been a right back. But at the time at Bournemouth, he was a leader. So I still think he has that leadership quality in him. I might be just trying to defend my point here, and I might be being blind to the point. But I don't know. I just still don't think you've got somebody in the heart of the defence where you look at your defence, there's somebody in there. I think I trust them. Like, I feel reassured with them at the back.
Would you trust Ake in the back line? And in the form we're in right now, we've conceded 29 goals this year so far. Would you trust them in that back line?
Just in more than what you've got at the moment.
Okay, I'm dodging the question. I don't know whether I trust Ake in a back line consisting of Godfrey, who I love, but Milenko, who's coming in and is new, trying to adapt, and Patterson, who's coming in new, trying to adapt. I don't know how Ake can. But he'd be the one. I think it'd be very hard for many centre backs to come in and sort of steady the ship. So maybe I'm being a bit harsh on Ake, but. I was just
trying to look at, if you do play those three, you need somebody in there who has got experience, and that's one player who's been playing in the Premier League now for a long time. It's a big ask because he will come with a big fee. But I'm trying to think of a player who you could put in there who you would trust, who could lead these players, and you want a big name, but obviously somebody who comes with a smaller price. I don't know. I just don't think right now what you've got is what you need. You need somebody who could lead and set a great example for these younger defenders. So if you've got any other names you can think of, then
Dele Alli for that number 10 role. Put Dele Alli in that number 10 role. Let's see what happens.
Do you know what? That's really that's
on loan. Yeah, on loan. Dele Alli 6 months. It's been talked about that he would be willing to go out on loan, and so would Tottenham be willing to let him go. Do it.
Honestly, I'm shocked with that.
Sign the contract, man. He's got something to prove, and I think there is something in him.
There is something in him. We just haven't seen it for.
We haven't seen it. I'm not his biggest fan, but I think on a loan deal, you can't go wrong, can you? As well, so we'll have to see. But I want to say one thing as well. One transfer we should make. Rafa out, Lampard in. Thank you.
I was going to mention. I was going to end on the managerial talk. Yeah. I thought it has to be done realistically. So is that the only name you're interested in then, realistically, as a replacement?
Well, people will say Potter. Don't see why Potter would come to Everton at the moment. People will say Rooney again. Why would he come to Everton at the moment? Lampard's there. You give him a good wage, he'll come in. And what Lampard will do, I think everyone's overlooking this when everyone goes, "Oh, Lampard. Why are you saying Lampard? Why is Lampard your big advocate? Why are you saying Lampard?" Because he's going to bring a connection between the youth squad and the first team, which is something we've been missing for a while.
Yeah.
So you think about players like Anthony Gordon, we're all bigging up Anthony Gordon like I am, oh my God, look at Anthony Gordon, he's so good. Well, if we connected the academy and the first team a little bit more, we'd see a lot more Anthony Gordons burst onto the scene, and we'd see a lot more players like Anthony Gordon who give 110% to the shirt, to the badge, every game. So I think we need to get Lampard in, because what he can do with the youth team, it will be phenomenal in the sense of he will bring that connection in there, which is what we've been missing. That's why you've seen so many players in Everton's academy just not progress to the first team, because there's been no connection there. Yeah,
and I think that would the positive buzz he would bring with that would be class. It would be a turnaround, and obviously with Chelsea and when he was at Derby, it was nice football as well. It's very progressive. It's passing out from the back. It's expansive. And potentially the players you have got and the players you've signed already, Godfrey can do it. I think the defence could potentially do it if you add in another player in that back four. I think you could be a change side. I know it's a lot of pressure and a lot to ask, but Lampard did do well at Chelsea. I think everyone forgets and everyone sees how much they progressed with Tuchel. people forget this guy did so much for that Chelsea side in that one season. When they had that transfer ban, they still got top 4. They progressed and they qualified for Champions League. He took them, I can't remember where Tuchel took. I think they got out the groups and then Tuchel took over. Like, he's a serious guy, and I do think it's a good shout, to be fair. It's just whether he would take the job, because it is a big job. It's a big turnaround.
If he wants to manage, he'll take the job. But if he doesn't want to manage, he won't take the job. It's as simple as that. It's a double-edged sword. If you want it, come over. I mean, what if you can revolutionise Everton? That would be a big thing on your CV. So Lampard in. That's what I'm going to run with now. So you're going to be hearing that for the next 3 months, 4 months, whenever Rafa's gone. Lampard in. That's what I'm going to say.
Lampard in. So the 2 things we should take from this then is Lampard in and Tom Davies of Ballon d'Or. That's simple as that. Then. Basically,
hey, Lampard comes in. Tom Davies is going to be a new player, man. Like Kelly's like 25, 26.
Yeah, you're funny, man. I love it. But thank you for coming on, mate. I really do appreciate it. And if anybody on this channel hasn't heard of KieranRants, I doubt it. The links to all of his channel will be in the description below. Kieran, thanks again, mate. Next time, I expect the bucket hat on, if I'm honest. I was disappointed. I was waiting for it. But no, thank you for coming on, mate. I'll definitely get you on for some more Everton talk eventually. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, guys, BucketHatSam over and out. Thank you. Goodbye.